just about 1 year ago to the day, I introduced to this audience a new website, a new and exciting concept in healthcare and infection control. It was called InfectionControl.tips. And Ace, can you go ahead and play that clip?
Yes. Well, InfectionControl.tips is a website with the lofty goal of saving the world from infectious disease. But actually, more specifically, our goal is to open the channels of communication and involvement across disciplines, status, and borders. We aim to provide a platform for the world to discuss, cultivate, and exchange ideas, trends, successes, and failures.
All right, that was the executive director, Michael Diamond, giving us the genesis of InfectionControl.tips. Well, in 1 year now, they have grown by leaps and bounds, expanding, really making an impression in this world, doing all kinds of really innovative things. So joining me now to discuss what has happened during the past year is the executive director of the Infection Prevention Strategy, Michael Diamond, the voice that you just heard, and the director of operations, Andrew Dong. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I got you both. Good. Can you hear me okay? Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, let's go ahead and start with you.
Sure.
A lot has happened since we last spoke, almost exactly 1 year ago. And your organization, your ideas have really spread. The tentacles of infection control tips touch this vast network of healthcare professionals and innovators. Without going to a whole lot of detail, can you give us an overview of 2016?
Yeah, sure. I'll just start off. I am battling a cold, so my voice may fluctuate.
Not a problem.
Last year has been amazing. Our first year has been a brilliant year. Everything has exceeded our expectations, and we've really set the bar high for 2017. In our first year, we have engaged with many individuals, innovators, and advocates, organizations, and companies hoping to make a difference in controlling and preventing infectious disease. In September 2016, at our Manchester conference in the United Kingdom, we announced our top innovations of the year, showcasing new advancements. We have established innovation partners around the world, including within Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, and South Africa. And not only have we been effective providing evidence-based science to new and emerging ideas and innovations, but we have also been spectacular in establishing pilots, trials, and full distribution in many countries. We have established an impressive advisory board of world-leading professionals representing 6 nations on 4 continents. Each of these members brings a wealth of knowledge and incredible passion to our work. I encourage everybody to go to our website and check out our advisory board. We are driven by our firm belief that we should not have to wait years for promising technology, ideas, and processes to be implemented and accepted, and that you should not have to pay to publish your work only to have critical information locked up behind subscriptions. We wanted a model, when we spoke a year ago, of information sharing that would make the process of vetting new technologies, implementing successful programs, and inspiring innovations that is more efficient, more accessible, and more global, and more collaborative. Well, with this as our mandate in the past year, we have established the Center of Excellence for Infection Prevention Control at the University of Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus at the Jacobs Institute with our partner Infonauts. So we kicked this off in January.
Wow.
Our first cohorts of innovations will be there, the 3 companies that will be profiling, studying, and sharing with the world their leading innovations that make a difference in global health and infection prevention.
Great. Now, you guys got your hands full. There's no doubt about that. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, the number of articles you guys are publishing is really growing and very, very valuable. And you have an open peer review now process that kicked off last spring. Can you talk about your publishing network and the peer-reviewed papers that you've done?
Yes, of course. So the past year, we've seen almost 200 articles published, and which highlight current issues and innovations in infectious diseases. We have reached about 80,000 monthly readers, and they've been kind of following us this entire time. And they've been able to see the innovations that really propel the discussion and what tomorrow's health landscapes will look like. So we're getting submissions from around the world, like Michael mentioned, from Australia, Nigeria, Papua New Guinea, Saudi Arabia, Italy, Brazil. And this is exactly what we're aiming for. The global network of authors is provided with a stage to essentially present the issues that affect them locally, but have implications and ramifications globally. In terms of open review, it's a new concept that we introduced, and the concept or the process basically allows verified infection control tips users, so they just have to be verified users of the website, the ability to comment on papers, any submissions that they essentially want to be part of the open review. So this is just like any other journal's review process, but by allowing a larger audience to comment, we actually improve the quality of the articles that are being put out. So in addition, this allows for transparency and reduction of bias during the peer review process. And like I said, the quality has just been amazing from these open peer review papers. We're really looking forward to see what submissions come out of our open peer review in 2017.
Yeah, you guys are doing some incredible stuff, and I was just looking at some of the articles you're doing. You're covering the whole gamut here: MRSA, Zika, hand hygiene, food safety. I mean, so you're really covering a lot of important information. And I also see that you had something published in Nigeria, a study, which became part of a panel discussion with the National Institute of Malaria Research.
Yes, it was actually one of our board members. She published a number of papers regarding the spread of malaria, and she was invited to represent us and created some amazing conversations and actually provided a few more papers or paper ideas that we're looking to address in 2017.
Wow, you guys are doing some great stuff. Let me go back to Michael. Now, you guys also started in recent months a project called Sudden Science. And if I got this correct, this program essentially gets new ideas and technology out much quicker than normal. Michael, can you talk a little bit about this project, Sudden Science?
Sure. Actually, I'll leave that for Andrew. My voice is cracking a bit, but I'll add on to the end of that one.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead, Andrew.
So Sudden Science is part of our pan-access goal of democratizing science. So one of the barriers, or the biggest barriers, is that it takes months and years to do a research project and just to receive approvals and planning. And as many people know, with years comes really high budgets.
Sure.
So we introduced the Sudden Science program as a system to speed up this process by removing a lot of the inefficiencies. One of the biggest things, our biggest barrier, was that we wanted to maintain the same quality that every other regulatory body, that every other journal has to undergo. So it was tough bringing it to fruition, but we managed to speed up the peer review process to just a matter of days now, instead of weeks and months. Pilot studies are currently underway, like Michael discussed earlier, and we're completing them in just 3 months instead of multiple years. And not only does this increase how fast we introduce these technologies into the real world, we're also saving hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Sure.
And I think Michael has said this before, but
Well, I'd add to the Sudden Science program. At the end of the day, leads to publishing quality, peer-reviewed articles of evidence-based science that will rapidly help organizations and companies and individuals get to market quicker. So what we end up having is a great opportunity to showcase that our papers are also published. When you go through the Sudden Science program, or anything you publish on our website is also published through the same depositories that all major journals publish in, like ResearchGate and Google Scholar. Furthermore, when we publish material on our site, we take it a step further. Unlike other standard journals, many of our articles receive over 2 million views in social media. And we also do the ground game. We knock on doors, make phone calls, and use snail mail to get these publications out to the stakeholders and individuals that would be interested in viewing them. I mean, we really make an effort to get the information out that we discuss in our journal.
Fantastic. Whoever wants to take this, when I did talk to you guys a year ago, you were giving me your idea about this thing called the incubator. Can you talk about the incubator one more time, and what has come out of this project 1 year later?
Yeah, so just to briefly reintroduce the incubator, it was an idea where we wanted people with just concepts for future papers who weren't exactly sure how to flesh it out and wanted to work together with some other experts from around the world on it. So we wanted to create a repository of really brilliant ideas. And so we've had a lot of interest. We were able to get a few papers out of the incubator this year. The first one was evaluating a glove dispenser to reduce transfer of pathogens through the use of a novel glove dispenser. So, and it was shown that it was extremely effective. We were able to go through the peer review process and really highlight the findings of just such a small, simple innovation. And in addition to that, we also personally performed the study evaluating the use of a stethoscope cover to reduce cross-contamination between patients. So this small, I believe, stethoscope cover only costs a few cents, goes over the stethoscope, and you use it to evaluate the heartbeat of a patient, and then you throw away the cover. Not only were we able to show that there is a significant decrease in the transfer of bacteria between use, we were actually able to measure audio quality, which is something extremely new to us, and the quality of the audio remained high throughout use. So these are just two of the studies that were completed this year. We have big plans for 2017 and hope to expand the incubator with a lot more ideas that we have coming in. But as always, we're looking for new and fresh ideas for the incubator. Yeah,
I have to say, I've been around this business a long time. You guys are doing some of the most innovative stuff I've ever seen, just to let you know. And I also see that somebody I know pretty well is doing a lot of work with you guys, Dr. Rodney Rohde. And I actually had him on the show last week to talk about the medical laboratory career field, and so he's published some stuff with you guys on the same topic.
Yes, we're very familiar with Rodney and all of his work, and he's been really championing the concept of pan-access publication and just pan-access science in general. Yeah,
he's our biggest supporter. He was one of our first advisory board members. He'll also be the chair for our upcoming conference in April.
Yeah.
Dr. Rohde is a big deal in our organization. We have a lot of respect for him. He's a great guy.
Now, you mentioned the pan-access publishing. Is this something different from everything else we've talked about?
Nope. The pan-access publication is a concept that I think we introduced last year on the show, where we don't charge for the publication process, the peer review process. We just provide the services to that other journals and other companies provide at an extremely high cost for free to reduce barriers to innovation, essentially.
Yeah, the motto is free to publish, free to access, accessible scientific services.
Very good. All right. Yeah. Now, something else, and you guys have already touched on this a little bit, is you have a presence now in some international conferences. You mentioned England earlier this year, and you're going to be hosting your own conference in Ontario, I believe,
yes,
in 2017. Can one of you guys talk about what I think are these really landmark events for your nonprofit.
Right, absolutely. They, well, in our first year, we participated in conferences across Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. This included APIC, IPAC in Canada, ISSA, and the National Conference in Manchester, England, that was held in association with IC Tips and our friends Nolex. We were honored to have been asked to film a video segment for ISSA TV in Chicago for the InterClean 2016 conference, the Ask the Expert section series. And that we did it. We did that in Chicago in October. In April 2017, we'll be hosting our own conference in North America in Hamilton, Ontario, our hometown. This is a multi-country panel discussion that will be held over 2 days, where day one will address antibiotic resistance and day two will focus on infection prevention and control. The impressive speaker list includes many notables from our advisory board and around the world, including the U.S., the U.K., Europe, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We'll be highlighting the greatest innovations in control of infectious disease, as well as the most up-to-date information on control processes, vaccines, global outreach, and best practices. And at that conference, that's where Dr. Rhodey will be chair, along with myself. We'll have notable speakers like Dr. Sattar. We'll have representation from CDC, from Europe, and from England, and of course from Canada.
Hey, can you guys provide any links? Do you have a link to this upcoming conference that somebody could check out?
Yeah, absolutely. The website for the conference can be found at www.ipc-canada.com.
Excellent. And when I do publish the podcast, I will put all the different infection control tips, links on there for somebody who's interested and wants to check it out. All right. Well, I got about 4 minutes left, guys. Is there anything that I left out? What's on the horizon? Is there anything that you would want to throw into the discussion?
Sure, yeah. I mean, one notable thing that we did this year is we were able to shorten our domain name to www.ic.tips.
Okay.
That came available. We also have an amazing collaboration with Kremco Laboratories in Toronto and Dr. Sattar. Andrew can speak a little more on that, but this is going to help us bring more innovations, provide more evidence-based science with notable backed-up individuals to provide that science. Andrew?
So this collaboration is in part with Dr. Syed Sattar of the University of Ottawa in Canada, and he's created a testing laboratory that allows us to not only test typical microbiological experiments and the quality of cleaning, but he's also created a lab that allows for air quality testing, which is extremely unique.
Mm-hmm.
And what sets his lab apart is that it's set up for EPA standards. So we he can do these large studies that most other laboratories can't. And I don't know if Michael...
Yeah, so we're hoping... We have the Center of Excellence in Buffalo that we kickstart in January. We're also hoping to introduce at a huge savings to a lot of individuals because the Canadian dollar is so low to the American dollar, the ability to even do more evidence-based science to help them get to market and get introduced. And all these promising innovations that we discuss and we examine. And honestly, anyone out there that has a promising innovation that wants to get some evidence to back it up, I mean, we're the group. We encourage everybody to contact us. We're, like we said, we're free to work with.
Well, I like I said, very, very impressive. The amount of stuff that you've done in a 12-month period is outstanding. And I want to thank you, Michael Diamond and Andrew Dong, and please keep up the good work.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Okay.